Absence of Ethics in the Workplace. Capstone Project by Ariel Champagne. Ethics in the Workplace. Ethics is defined as the basic concepts and fundamental principles of decent human conduct. They are basically the unseen rules that we all live by, the rules that tell us what is right and wrong. Ethics are extremely important in the workplace because they set out the right and wrong behaviors and thoughts. They also show us what behaviors and thoughts are acceptable and unacceptable in the workplace. It is important for the organization to make these things known so that the employees can abide by them on a daily basis. Ethics should be practiced inside the workplace at all times to ensure that everyone gets treated fairly and equally, despite anything that has nothing to do with the organization. The absence of ethics. Unfortunately, ethics are not always practiced at all times in the workplace. There are some unethical behaviors occurring in the workplace still today. These behaviors are putting a damper on the business world and its running. Prejudice and discrimination are unethical and sadly still happening in the workplace today. Discrimination is described by Merriam-Webster.com as the practice of unfairly treating a person or group of people differently from other people or groups of people. Prejudice is an unfair feeling of dislike toward a person or group because of their race, gender, religion, etc. Understanding, engaging, and fighting prejudice and discrimination in the workplace. How do individuals understand, engage in, and fight prejudice and discrimination in the workplace? Understanding prejudice and discrimination in the workplace is extremely important. In order to fight this unethical behavior, we need to understand where it comes from, why it occurs, and how people engage in it. Learning how people in the workplace engage in prejudice and discrimination is a big part of fighting it. This is because we need to see how people become victims of this unethical behavior, what the culprits are thinking, and how people react when they see this happening around them. Understanding prejudice and discrimination in the workplace. Prejudice and discrimination can happen in a couple of ways inside the workplace. Harassment, bullying, name-calling, unfair treatment. There are a few different categories that prejudice and discrimination can take form of in the workplace. Individuals are treated this way based on their race, age, gender, disability, religion, sexual preference, etc. This unethical behavior towards someone can make them feel scared, unmotivated, agitated, and sometimes even depressed when they are a victim of it. Engaging in prejudice and discrimination in the workplace. Even though prejudice and discrimination are not as common and outright as they were years ago, it is still happening in the workplace today. There are laws that make this unethical behavior illegal and prohibited. Unfortunately, though, this type of behavior is very concealed and hidden these days, so it's harder to find and notice. People engage in prejudice and discrimination in the workplace by treating individuals unfairly or having negative thoughts of someone based on their race, age, gender, religious beliefs, etc. By not giving someone a job or the same opportunity as others, not giving a promotion, denying maternity leave or disability leave, are a few ways that this can happen in the workplace. This can also be shown from other employees in terms of harassment, bullying, or other things of that nature. Fighting prejudice and discrimination in the workplace. Michael Morris and Susanna Fisk of Forbes.com says, the problem is that discrimination, largely unattended and largely invisible, occurs in everyday activities such as task assignments, informal mentoring, and performance appraisals. Knowing that this prejudice and discrimination come in many ways, we need to learn how to fight and assess these ways before we can come up with ways to fight each certain one. In order to fight this behavior in the workplace, we need to take an in-depth look at it. There can be efforts taken by everyone involved. Things can be done in the workplace to ensure that employees know that this unethical behavior is prohibited and be aware of the consequences of it. Victims need to stand up for themselves and know that it is okay to report this behavior. Also, employees who witness this behavior should report it to their superior and make efforts to make it stop. We as individuals can try and dismiss any influences that may make us feel differently about people based on things such as gender, race, age, religion, etc. Fighting prejudice and discrimination in the workplace. Fighting prejudice and discrimination is a group effort, and it is not a one-man job. This takes effort from everyone: employers, employees, and other individuals involved in the business world. Even though prejudice and discrimination has been fought for a very long time, it is still apparent in the workplace today. This will not change unless we do something about it. Ethics drive our thoughts and actions, especially in the workplace. Therefore, they need to be practiced at all times. We should all live by, and our work practices should abide by these ethics set in place. This way, we can focus on things that matter, like qualifications, knowledge, and experience, rather than age, race, gender, religion, etc. It will definitely be a tough job, but when we stand together and put forth the effort, we will make it happen. We can make a business world with no unethical behavior, no prejudice, and no discrimination.